Hi everyone, welcome to the Earth Keeper Summit. I am Matías de Stefano and I am talking from Svalbard in the Arctic Ocean in an island of Norway. And I'm here because I'm doing a specific task that I will share about. But this video is for all of you to know me a little bit more. And I was thinking of doing this video inside where there's no wind, but I think that we will be missing this nature, which is amazing. Um, just a few, just a few, um, just a few kilometers from the North Pole, and so it's freezing cold. Um, this video is for everyone to get to know me a little bit more. Well, for all of you who don't know me, I was born in Argentina, in Venado Tuerto, Argentina, in 1987, and I, uh, well, since I was born, I had this ability to remember everything that I have done before I was born, and my my nature of remembering got me to do many things around the world and to know many people to help reconnect the memory of this planet. To give you a little bit of my background, I was born in this small city in Argentina in an agnostic or atheist family. So I had no religion, no spirituality around my environment, and it was just me being creative. Let's say being able to remember other dimensions, other realities, being able to talk, to speak with different beings from other realms that would explain me since I was a child how to talk to the plants, how to talk to the stones, how to be connected with nature, with the cosmos, with everything, and to understand the humans around me and how to be one of them, how to remember how important it was to be a human. So all my childhood, I was this kid with so many ideas and so many connectivity, and that for my family, being atheist, it was a very creative child. So they encouraged me to tell the stories, to tell everyone what I was having inside of me, because it was nice for them, and they didn't relate it to spirituality or anything from other dimension until when I was 11, 12 years old, and I started to remember what I've done in other lives, not only to be able to connect with other realities, but also to remember past lives, other beings, other families, people that I loved and that now doesn't exist. And so all these things that I started to remember since I was a child, they got me into a very deep state of mind, which was not very connected. It was much more sad and worry, and I stopped living like a child, and I started to live like an all grown up adult that was worried about life, worried about missions, worried about many things that I have to accomplish and do that I didn't finish in other moments. So I saw myself doing many things around the world, being in all these different places, meeting all these people, talking to everybody. And as a child, I was very concerned that I wouldn't be able to reach all of you, that I wouldn't be able to find myself accomplishing all the missions that I started to connect with and to remember. So eventually I got I got disconnected from this reality. I got disconnected from um, the way I perceived my family, my friends, my school, and I entered in a process that I had to go to the psychologist and um, to um, to start working myself, thinking that I was crazy, that I had schizophrenia, that everything that I was remembering, it was just a mistake or something that was wrong in my head. I was headache every day, and my mom took me to the doctor. The the teachers at school were trying to help me with psychologists, and every day I started to remember more about other places, other histories, hidden secrets in human history. I started to remember lost civilizations, but mainly the people that live in that civilization. That I remember how they talked. I remember my relationship with them, and what I was supposed to do with them. And I was trying to find them every day when I was walking in the streets, trying to find them in different bodies. So um, my teenagehood was very complicated because since my 12 years old, I started to be open to many things that I didn't expected, that I didn't expect, to many things that uh, I didn't know how to handle. Um, and so I saw that many of my friends, when we were younger, when we were kids, um, they also were able to feel, to sense all these kind of things. Not maybe in the same level as I did, but I could feel that they were engaged with this, that they have felt some stuff in some moments in their lives. And I started to know also psychologists that they were asking me questions like, what is this? What does it mean? Or one of my latest psychologists when I was a teenager, um, uh, she started to ask me questions, and I answered what I remembered. And she said, "You just summarize all the books that I have in my shelf and that I didn't understand." So they started to, I started to know people that said, maybe you don't have a problem. You just have a lot of information. You are just a child and you don't know how to handle that. So all these things have designed my idea of working in education. My whole goal in life was I need to help other kids that are living this reality, to help them to understand this reality, to understand dimensions, to understand why they are remembering this, and to have someone to relate to so when they are in conflicts, in problems, I could help them solve these situations, to solve these conflicts, um, at least to help them understand why they were living what they were living. And this is why I started to study education, so I could help these people, so I could help children. And when I was studying about that, I saw that the teachers and the parents were the main ones that needed help, not the kids, because the parents were disconnected, the kids were connected. So what I needed to help was the parents and teachers to understand the kids in school, at home. So what was funny was that eventually a lot of people started to ask me questions in education on how to understand the kids, how to understand the realities that they were talking about. And suddenly I ended up um, explaining the dimensions, other realms, other realities to teachers. And so they asked me, we want to know this, we want to understand this reality. So when I was explaining this to other teachers, someone filmed me and uploaded in YouTube. So I ended up being in YouTube explaining about realities, dimensions, and everything. So this is how my life turned into a public life, that everyone started to ask me questions, to call me so I could go to congresses and explain what I know about reality. And everything that I ever wanted to do was actually to help others to understand this in schools. But it turned out to be that I started to do it through internet and through congresses and traveling. So I started to travel all around the world where they were calling me, so I could give these classes and to teach about the plans of the universe and the dimensions, and why we are here in this reality, what is the goal of this creation, but not in a spiritual way, because I was not raised spiritual. I had no relationship with that. So I was trying to explain everything as systems, like universal system, galaxy system, planetary system. So my friends usually say that I am a magic killer, because even if I live in a very magical reality, I try to explain everything as a system instead of something magical. But it's because my background of living and growing up in an environment that doesn't have magical connections. So that helped me to be very neutral when I was trying to explain information. And I learned with friends to translate this knowledge into any religion, into any topics. Like I started to learn how to explain what I know to a musician, to an electrician, to an architect, to a scientist, to a religious person. So basically the information was the same, but the way we are explaining it is different. So I got to the point to understand that actually what was happening in the world is that everyone is saying exactly the same thing, but from these different perspectives, and everyone is fighting because of the perspectives, not because of the truth. Like, everyone is saying the truth, but everyone is saying it in a different way. So there I understood my mission, my purpose in life, which is to put the members together, all the different visions as one, as a hologram that we are, in a holistic way, to educate the reality, to educate the self, so we could understand the connectivity in all of that as one, as a unity. So that's basically why everything, the word that defines what I'm doing is remembering. We usually use the term remember when we talk about past lives, or remembering something that we did yesterday, or when we were children. But actually, remember means to put the members together again. Remember. And also there's another word for remembrance, which is recording. So is when you record something, you store something to remember it later. So the word remember means to put the members together, so all the different parts as one. And record means to, in Latin, come back to the heart. So everything that is around comes back to the heart. Recordis means to. So the word remember means to put the members together, so all the different parts as one. And record means to, in Latin, come back to the heart. So everything that is around comes back to the heart. Recordis. So these two concepts of remembering defined everything that I was doing. Putting the members together, try to explain the different points of view to unite one truth, so we could understand why we are remembering all this, why we are living what we live, and in different points of view, different perspectives, living and saying the same truth. And also that the way you can go back to the truth is if you go back to yourself. And yourself is not your personality, it's not who we are. The self is the essence of the information, the main essence of reality. So there is where I was trying to get to understand that. So basically, I can define that we as humans, our personality is designed by many points of view. So we call that beliefs or patterns. And those patterns are established in our heads, in our brain, as packages of information. So when we try to understand something new, basically what we do is to access those packages of information through patterns. That's why we usually tend to understand things through the things that we have learned when we were children. Those patterns helps us to understand the world, and those patterns can create a structure for us to know how to relate to the external with the internal. So in order to get to the core of that, we have to transcend the patterns. We have to transcend the ideas that created us, that made us be who we are. So we have to go beyond our personality to become our reality, our essence, which is just the information, the data, without any perception or without any structure that we have created before. And for that, we have to go through the patterns to the essence, which is the I am, the main essence of all. And suddenly, through that understanding, I saw that everything in the universe is kind of the same, are different patterns that have been created in order to perceive a reality, to help us to understand a reality. So every realm in the nature, in everything that exists, is just a pattern encoding data, which brings us to understand that cultures, religions are just packages of information. And that means that us, the humans, every human, every tree, every animal, we are neurons. We are like these neurons connecting, working around, connecting information, data, and creating packages of information through our actions, our thoughts, our cultures, our art, our ideas. So what we are creating is a huge brain of information, of a network of information that we call planet Earth. So actually we are not a clever species that live on the planet, but we actually are the neurons of a living being that is thinking about itself, which is planet Earth. So this planet in process of evolution has different packages of information. So in 2012, I decided to unlock some of these patterns of information that are around the world, around the brain. So I started a project called Harwitum, which is the path from north to south, going through the chakras of the planet in the 7 continents and unlocking some information in some cultures, some religions, some mountains, holy places, sacred places, trying to figure out the members that have been disconnected and how to remember them, how to put them together, how to understand how the whole planet has been designed in a pattern of information and that can be revealed for us to evolve, for us to rise up our consciousness, not just as a human being, but as a planet as a whole. So that took me to go through many years of planetary task, in which a lot of people started to follow me to join the path that I was doing around the planet, which were paths that took me to cathedrals to try to heal the history of Inquisition, so our minds can be unblocked from that oppression that we have received from religion. So I went to Middle East, to the Nile, to many temples in different religions, to mountains, volcanoes, pyramids, islands, in every corner of the planet, to start to connect and to teach to people how to regain back that connectivity of the whole, of the everything. So I've been teaching about how every religion is saying the same thing, the science is saying the same thing, so how everything is connected as one. And so through that process, the idea is to eventually create a state of consciousness. So a network of thinking that can help us to work as the best technology ever created for the spirit, which is biology. So to understand how our body works, the nature works, we can understand how the spirit thinks. And this is something that usually we forget, because we have lived in cultures that separated this matter, this reality, from the spiritual world. So actually the spiritual world is the creator itself of biology as a way to express itself. So basically what we are living is the spiritual realm materialized. And so biology is the main tool that spirituality is using in order to acknowledge itself. So eventually, one day, we will start to remember all the different pieces and understand that every culture, religion, science, idea, art creates a way in which we could develop ourselves, that in our bodies we call cells, organs, systems. So this perfect and beautiful creation has the codes to help us evolve spiritually if we pay attention to the environment. So because of that, I have been traveling around the world. I have been teaching about the importance of each island, of each forest, of each culture. So trying to understand how all the realities in the entire universe through time and space are encoded here in this reality, and how can we start to transform this reality to use the patterns in a good way that helps us evolve instead of putting us inside of a cage that makes us feel safe but actually is trapping us, and we have created that idea. So because of that, in 2020 I started a project called the I Am, and the I Am was followed by thousands of people around the world. I've been in Egypt for a whole year giving classes, free classes online. I was going every day to the Great Pyramid, meditate, download that information, write it in a blog, and then explain it online in English and Spanish. So I've been doing that for a long time, and for 370 days actually. And this whole process helped to understand the initiatic path of how to understand the remembrance, how to understand the link between all the things. So the idea is to understand every one of the patterns that have created us as we are today, and how to engage with that, how to transform our lives, to transform the planet. I will explain every step that I did in order to reach this point, and give you some tools that I have used, so you can also start your inner transformation to become an active and conscious part of this living planet. The whole process of these teachings will take us from the very beginning in the universe till our basic daily life here as humans, and everything is connected. So the idea is for us to be able to access that information easily, the whole universal information, through easy things that we have in our daily life. And well, the reason why I'm here getting frozen is because Svalbard is the pineal gland, sorry, is the hypophysis gland of the planet. So this island is a physical manifestation of a place that holds the information on the North Pole. And this island used to be in the equator millions of years ago, and it's full of coal. So has all the memory of the rainforest that once were in that area, and all the plants and animals that have lived in the core of the planet in the equator millions of years ago are here, are encoded here from the very beginning. One of the main origins of life has also are also storage here in this island. And this is a very specific place for the past, because it has the information from the very beginning, and also it has information for the future, because I don't know if you know, but here in Svalbard we have two main things, which is, one is the seed vault, which is a place where all the seeds of the world has been collected. So billions of seeds, in case of a catastrophe could happen in the world, they are here hidden in the ice, so the humanity can start again just in case. Also, this place is the one that has the best internet in the world, basically. All the connectivities under the sea comes here, and also is a good place to communicate to space, to all the satellites. So it has a really good connectivity, and it's a very important place in the world to connect to the entire world. So that's why it's the hypophysis of the planet. And my task being here in this week is to work in the hypophysis, connecting some of the dots around the island, downloading certain information, certain tools, so we could access more data from the past to open some gates of information, like opening a memory that could help us understand what do we have to do in the future. So basically reading the stones and opening books that are here in the stone, so I can share it later with all of you. So usually the biggest and best information is hidden under the ice. So that's why I'm here. So I hope that this has been a summary of everything. This is my daily life, traveling around, not knowing exactly where I'm going to be. And so I wanted to share this environment that I am usually in, so you can also feel what I feel. So I'm really happy to be able to share with all of you all this information, and mainly that it could help you and the Earth evolution eventually. Thank you everyone for being there and for being part of this. See you soon.